Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living, and we are live. Welcome to the show. And yes, I forgot my razor because I'm traveling. I didn't want to buy another one. Anyway, guys, hopefully we'll have a few people pop up. And tonight, per Doc Sprocket's request, Doc Falcon, I'm sorry, per Doc Falcon's request, he had wanted to talk about water filtration and how to have clean water because he thought it was interesting. Dude, hey, I'm in my prime. No, I'm actually kind of tired. It's been a day on the computer all day, doing a bunch of work. I was actually talking to some very important people that I don't know, related to a job. And after they talked with me or I talked with them, they realized that I was an asset and they weren't going to fire me. How about that? Yeah. I mean, it was good stuff. Um, you feeling okay, buddy? You doing all right? I just got out of the shower, so what little hair I have left is kind of askew, akimbo. Hey, one day at a time. How you doing, buddy? They still got you working from can to can. Oh, well, we got 5 people on here. Hey, guys. Hello to all my regulars and to all my creepers. I love you, creepers. Creepers. There you go. Dealing with a headache all day. Yep. Have you had any more problems with your blood pressure, Doc? Oh, I didn't know Sandy was in there. Hey, Sandy. Oh, there you are. Hey, Sandy. How you doing? No one seems to be okay. Creepers, jeepers. Yeah, there you go. You know, having been on YouTube for quite a while, I have my creepers, and I usually have two, and it's okay. Um, and they just kind of hang out in the background. Headache all day. Huh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Doc said he's been, oddly enough, having a headache all day long. And one day at a time says he's gone back to 8 hours for now till something else blows up. Amen, brother. That's one of the things I just got through talking with a guy he was the manager of I can't say the names, of a, multi-million dollar company, a chemical plant up in North Alabama. And he was like, why did this piece of equipment blow up? And I was like, well, dude, you hadn't, the last time I checked it, the last time you let me check it was in September of last year. And he said, like, oh, he said, well, that's reasonable. And I actually thought I was going to be fired today. But after that, it makes me want to slack off even more and do less. All joking aside, they were looking for some sort of scapegoat. And I said, dude, you quit doing all the work. Oh, no, I'm not fired, Sandy. I was thinking I was going to be fired. And then everybody was wanting to know why this wasn't this way and why this wasn't that way. And think of it as changing your oil. You have these big pieces of equipment and you need to change the oil in them, let's say the first of every month. And so I said, where's how was the data? Let's look at all the data from the first of the month. And they said, well, we haven't done that in a year. And I'm like, come on, guys. Um, y'all are the people that make millions of dollars a year. Um, so it's okay though. Everything's all good, and they love me. Um, they love you until you miss something in my job, and then they don't love you. Marvin says, "Hey, Marvin, how you doing, buddy? I'll tell you, recently got fired. New company bought up my old opening and offered me a very good deal. Yes, sir. You had mentioned that to me. Yes, sir. Congratulations. I'm glad that everything's going well. Doc Falcon, yes, sir. That is in the works. Um, yes, sir. Um, so Doc Falcon had suggested that we talk about water filtration yesterday. So I thought we would talk about that in a few minutes, but we can do pleasantries and all that good stuff. What y'all been doing? I'm here in Chattanooga. It got freaking cold. I had to put on long johns today when I went to work. It was like, holy cow. Um, there was frost on the windows, 28, 29 degrees. I was very surprised that it was as cold as it was. It was. It did get nice here in Chattanooga. I went outside and cooked, and I actually did a couple of videos while I was cooking. Um, I'm just, I'm just not going to sit out there and cook in 20-degree weather. Uh, in the high 20s tonight. Yes, sir. It's, yeah, it's actually starting to drop. It was crazy this morning. I got up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock here in Tennessee time, and there were 4 police cars outside. I did a video on it, and I went out to get coffee because I was working on the computer. I've got this computer, and I've got like my work computer uh, up above me, and so I was doing this and that, and I went out, got a cup of coffee, and I was talking to the lady, and I said, "You got 4 cop cars out in front." I said, "They're blocking us in." She said, "Yes, sir." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, is there a problem?" I'm sorry about that, Marvin. And I had looked at the lady, and I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "Well, what floor are you on?" I said, "I'm on first floor." And she said, "Oh, it's no problem for you." I said, "Okay." And they were doing a wellness check on a family that had been here for like 2 weeks, and it was involved. And so there were 4 police cruisers here until 11, 11 o'clock. I couldn't leave the property because they had everybody blocked in. And so I just kept drinking coffee and eating breakfast, or well, that they actually did not do the free buffet because of you know so it was an involved day. um, and the cops finally found the guy in the woods hiding, and they arrested him. You remember me doing all all the old videos where I would go hiking up to the old water tower here in Chattanooga. That's where he was hiding. And I guess, Doc, it was eventful. um, so I'm glad it's all done. I am glad it's all done. I'm sorry you got screwed over, Marvin. Is there anything you can do? Gosh, we've been on here 10 minutes already. And I must have just got bumped because there's only one person here. That means I can make duck noises. Okay, everybody's back. So we won't make duck calls. Hey, Sandy. The way the up in the corner, well, y'all can't. Up in the corner on the top left-hand side, if you're looking at me, it might be on your top right-hand side. It shows the amount of people on here and the people that have done a thumbs up. And so that lets me know that's about the only gauge I have of when I get dropped. I know this place sounds strange, but I don't like to cook when it's cold. But you like to cook in the snow. Okay. Okay. Well, dude, Marvin, you know more about cooking than I do, dude. Good for you. And Doc Falcon says the how's the wife feeling? I saw she took the daughter to the doctor today. Yes, sir, she did. And Shauna has my wife. Most everybody knows her as the hooch. The hooch, because oh my goodness. I won't explain it. Doc can explain it. He knows. She's got the Rona, very strong case, and has tested positive for like 4 days in a row. And Samantha had flu I want to say like 9 or 10 days ago. And she kind of got better. And then of course the hooch came home with this. And of course Sam got it. I haven't gotten it yet. I don't feel like 100%, but I'm taking so many. I'm taking so much stuff, supplements. I'm just actually tired. And I've been eating protein like crazy. I've been taking Q-Certain zinc, echinacea, golden seal, B12, and magnesium. I think those are the ones I'm taking that I can remember. Anyway, I feel great, but I'm exhausted. So Sam's probably going to have it, Samantha, our daughter. And this is an ideal time for me to be out of town, or a terrible time for me to be out of town as well, because I can't really help, but I'm away from them, and I'm the only source of income, for the household. So I have to go do things to generate an income, and not being arrogant or flippant or anything like that. It's just the way it is with us. So, not meaning to be an ass about it. Georgia Department of Labor will have been updated. Okay. Well, Marvin, I'm really sorry, buddy, about all that stuff. But, gosh, we've been into it for 15 minutes now. You guys want to talk about water purification, or do you just want to talk about whatever? They have all taxes on my bonus check. Yes, sir. I understand. The bonus checks are severely taxed. They will absolutely eat it up. I don't, let's see. It would be okay for me to say this. I get a bonus based off of what I do through the year and what kind of clients and customers I bring in and what kind of, 911s I save. And last year, I want to say it was $9,000 or $10,000, I think. But please don't hate me yet, because I didn't get $9,000 or $10,000. But it was after federal taxes and state taxes. I think I got a bonus of $3,000, and I used it to pay off a credit card. That was it. So from, let's say 10, from 10 to 3, that was taxes. And now you guys know why I hate the government. Republican, Democrat, I don't care. I despise them all. Because the things I do, the crazy stuff I do, sometimes I'm down in a coal mine. I'm 1,400 feet underground. I don't see a Republican or a Democrat standing beside me. Sometimes I have to climb towers, like not a cell phone tower, but imagine a cell phone tower, maybe 15 stories. Sometimes I have to climb that, go up there and check equipment. I tell you what, I don't see a Republican or a Democrat sitting there beside me with a safety harness on. Yeah. Only person there beside me is Jesus. And that's why I do my tithe. Other than that, screw them. If you can get out of it, get away from it, do it. I despise what this government's become. And this is a whole different thing that I did not really want to get onto tonight because I'm kind of creepy. And I tend to cuss more when I feel creepy. I know that's kind of a mixed match of what's going on. So that's me. I am all for, if you can show me where my taxes go, I'm glad to pay it, and I'm glad to help out, especially people that can't help themselves. I understand. I'm all for it. I shouldn't even got on this subject. Anyway, let's talk about water filtration, guys. Before let's talk about water filtration. They say you can go 30 days without food, but you can only go 3 days without water. That is an interesting premise. It's probably correct. For most of us, it probably will take less time because we're so used to, having access to clean, fresh water. I know every one of us in here, there's 5 of us. I know every one of us has had a stomach virus at one point to where it comes out faster than you can put it in. That's kind of gross, but That's how it is. That is a light case of dysentery in a lot of instances. And clean, fresh water. Hey, Jane, how are you doing? Jane Corley Schreck, come on in. Welcome aboard. And Sandy says she's been using 2 stacked buckets with filters on the top buckets. Absolutely. It works great depending on the kind of filtration system that you have. It works fantastic. Okay, Doc, I got you. I understand. It works great. Excuse me. It works great. And you can filter out, chlorine, fluoride with a lot of the just the regular filters, and they do really, really well. And those are 2 of the big ones that you need to watch for in a perfect world, because you don't really need chlorine. You really don't need fluoride, not the way they pump it in. And now fluoride is critical for cleaning water, but not on the scale that they're talking about when it's, when it's just you and your household. So one of the things that I would suggest, and I have done copious notes, hang on, and I always write them in here. The importance of water purification and disinfection, the goals and scope of what we're trying to do. We're trying to filter water, basically. Common water contaminants, bacteria, viruses, parasites, chemicals, etc. Explain the health impacts and the risks. Now, we did some of this last night. Holy cow. Have any of you guys ever gotten Giardia? I have. I did. I mentioned the story yesterday. Holy cow. Giardia is, let's say, scheduled vomiting and diarrhea every 15 minutes. Fantastic, Sandy. Congratulations. Yes, I'm really glad for you because, yeah, people are amazed at actually how much water they use every day. If there's 2 of you in the house and you flush the toilet 3 or 4 times, you can burn 40 or 50 gallons of water a day just, not even drinking it, just washing your hands, rinsing off stuff in the kitchen sink, flushing the toilet. It goes quick. Marvin says, I'll just say, my son works on coal mines. I've been down deep many times. Yes, sir. Deepest I've been is 1,400 feet. And then I got in a Humvee and I rode to a pier. I'm not kidding about this. I got in a flat bottom boat and they took me across the lake to the other side, and I checked on a motor and a pump for them. And that was 1,400 feet down under Warrior River. Mike Oliver. Hey, Mike. Chlorine keeps bacteria from growing in your lines. Filters are okay, but most people don't change the filters. You do have a point. Yes, yes, and no. The chlorine is good stuff, and I like to use it. But I like to use it further upstream, and I filter all of it out, so we don't drink anything chlorinated at all on my property. We haven't for been married 17 years, 20 years. for about that long. Filters are okay, but most people don't change filters. You are right about that. So I would say chlorine or chloramine is not good, not for ingestion. Look at it this way: if you're going to grow, if you're going to try to make bread or ferment anything, and the chlorinated water inhibits growth, well, I don't want to drink that. And that could just be me being the tree hugger. Not really. I'm not much of a tree hugger, but that's my thought. And Mike says further down, Mike says you just have to use it correctly. Absolutely, that is a good point, Mike. I'm not bashing or anything like that. I agree. You made a good point, Mike. And Doc Falcon says, I got in Florida years ago. He was around 10 or 11. He used to crush seashells to filter water with. Guess it worked till he was 80. I guess I don't know the chemistry behind it. I can kind of, the seashells, if you crush them and then if you burn them, they make a lime, which is almost like a cement. And it might, I don't know, it might be caustic enough to change it. I don't know. You got me on that one. I'm not the guru on this. Sandy said she was almost sick that one winter. Thought she might pass. And then Mike again said, just have to use it correctly. Absolutely. And Mike, thank you for coming by. I am not in any way picking on you or nothing like that. I like your comment. Doc Falcon says he ordered a new filter for the fridge the other day. That's good. That's good. It can help, a chlorinated filter or, one that filters out fluoride. It was maybe a 10-gallon bucket with 2 feet of shells in it. It's kind of weird, I thought. That actually sounds pretty dang good. Sergeant Rocco, how are you doing? Did you like the message I sent you earlier today? Send that to Pete. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Sergeant Rocco, what do y'all do up in the Great White North? Because they're like in Canada. Not really Canada. They're up north. I just like picking at him. He's my buddy. What are your thoughts? Without saying too much, Rocco has been involved in the military on quite a few continents, and he would be a good person to listen to. Something in Gaelic, gave up cigars and whiskey for Lent. It's no longer pleasant to be with. Aaron Gobra. Tell Petra that congratulations on the new birth, and tell him I'm happy for him. But okay, Sergeant Rocco is involved in pleasantries, but we'll go back to talking about water filtrations. There's a lot of different ways you can do water filtration. You can, and I am not the expert on this. I've done it for years, but I'm not the expert. What are you trying to filter out? What are you trying to filter against? Okay, Sergeant Rocco just got back in with me. What are your thoughts on water filtration, Sergeant Rocco? Water filtration. From your experiences in several continents in the military, what are your thoughts? I know certain people I can ask, but I do not, just open them up. I try to be as vague as possible. He's for it. Okay, water filtration is a good thing. Thank you. Amen. Hallelujah. All right, moving on to the next thing. Really, Rocco? Okay. I love you, buddy. But what would you do? You have a situation and you need to have water. What do you do? Um, there, there's all kinds of different ways. Do you have chlorine? Because Mike Oliver had mentioned chlorine, and you can absolutely filter water. You can disinfect water. There's a difference. I'm sorry. You can disinfect water with a little bit of chlorine. It works. Um, the water tastes terrible. So I would use the Kool-Aid packs that they come in a lot of the MREs, or you can just get. I'm pulling out my notes here. Hydrogen peroxide. Yes, that will work. Um, Iodine works. It is terrible tasting, and it'll stain your teeth a little bit. Sergeant Rocco said, okay. Sandy said hydrogen peroxide. Yes. Yeah. Uh, Rocco said Israeli military gave us pills, but taught us to strain through material, pebbles, and shells and sand. Yes, absolutely. Like a 3-layer filter medium. Absolutely. Mike is back and he says lots of different media can be used to filter out bigger particles. They need to disinfect, bleach, iodine, or boil. Absolutely, Mike. Thank you very much. Um, Doc Falcon says all he remembers from when he was in the Scouts was to boil it. If it looks clean, his memory is foggy. Okay, Clorox is what Sergeant Rocco says. Yes. Roundabout. Those are pretty good answers. Yeah. And again, I am not the ultimate um, person to talk about this, but you also want to bear in mind, what are you concerned about contaminating your water? I mean, is it the creek that's running down into your property from beside the interstate? So you're just getting, pollution, maybe the occasional car wreck or something, which is considerable. But, in the short term, probably wouldn't hurt you. In the long term, you wouldn't want to do it. I mean, that's kind of what you have to weigh out. Oh, Hodges is here. Hey, buddy. Hang on. Favorite way is boiling around 4 inches of water in a pot, pour it in a glass pitcher in the middle, and turn the lid upside down. Okay, that's pretty cool. Almost like a distillation. The clean water drips down the handle to the middle and drops into the glass pitcher. Okay, yeah. Soviet pioneers, this is what Rocco was saying. Soviet pioneers taught us to boil it or strain it through a kerchief. The kerchief works so well. My first case of dysentery happened when I was 11. Tell you what, dude, you get, like I said, I've not had dysentery. I've had giardia. And I've had, I guess, everything up to that. When I'm trying to say this politely because we have women here. When you get up to move to, my case was I was canoeing, and we were like a week-long canoe trip. When I would get up to go to the canoe, I would poop myself. Explosive diarrhea. It ain't pretty. It ain't good. Um, it's not that Red Dawn movie kind of stuff. Diarrhea will kill you dead. Just like I said yesterday on the Oregon Trail video or the Oregon Trail game, you died of dysentery on the way. Holy cow, it will clean you out. Hang on, I'm catching up. Doc Falcon says so much crap in the water now, you almost have to have a chemist to figure it all out. Yes, sir. You can get a water analysis from your water provider, which is your utility company. We do, or I do, and they send it to me. Like I said, I know I get our water from number 4 deep well kind of thing. What they tell me, that's all I can figure out. Pete's mom says they would add 1/3 of Schlivik or Reach when they drank it from streams or wells that weren't theirs. There you go. It's actually one reason why so many, colonial Americans drank beer. And actually, that goes back to the Egyptians. I think it was because it was fermented and filtered. This is a piece of bacon that I cooked. That's so good. Hang on, I'm reading. Mike Oliver says Giardia lets you poop through a screen door. Yes, sir. Mike, yes, sir. You are completely right. We were on Locust Fork canoeing. It was a long canoe trip, and my water bottle leaked. We were wade fishing for, whatever in the shallows. And I didn't notice till the end of the day that my water bottle never got empty. Well, the lid was loose. And holy cow, it was an awakening. I'll say that. For those of you who've never pooped, in a sleeping bag, it is an awakening. Yeah. Oh, wow, Doc, or Sergeant Rocco. Hang on, I'm trying to get rid of something. There we go. I got it. So yeah, it can be. Wow. I didn't know it stuck around that long. I guess it could. Rocco. Holy cow. But it is a crippling situation when that happens because you can't do much. Honest to goodness, I'm trying to think of the stuff that in the prepper books. You're going to go out and chop wood? Nope, no, you're not. You're going to poop all over yourself. You're going to go out and feed the animals? No, you're not. You're going to poop all over yourself. You're going to fend off the zombies? No, you're not. You're going to poop all over yourself. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely, Sandy. One of the things that really would help is for people to go a little bit further back into the herbal solutions as to what can help you with an upset stomach, and then absolutely have the modern solutions. I'm not, while I am a tree hugger, I love me some trees. I am all for modern pharmaceuticals. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Rocco says you really can't. You are not going to be high speed and low drag when that happens. You are not SEAL Team 6 anymore. You are you know, pooping like crazy. And it's not upset stomach. And I'm not going to get graphic, but you guys know cramping, vomiting, diarrhea, mostly diarrhea, abdominal pains, and everything like that. And everything that poops out is infectious. Roaming prepper, hello. Mayhem Country Living and chat just stopped in to say, hey, hey, roaming prepper. Well, thank you for coming by. Thank you for roaming by here. And always feel free to come on back. Uh, babies were stealing candy from you. Absolutely. Um, so, I mean, that's, you're losing. And not only are you losing water, I mean, you're losing electrolytes. You're losing a lot, some minerals and stuff. Hello, Redwood Prepper Sergeant. Anyways, take it easy, Roman Prepper, or you feel free to hang around. So, I mean, I know of friends who have, we've all done the crazy extreme stuff, and at the end of the weekend, when we quit doing all the crazy extreme stuff, they were sitting in the ambulance with an IV catheter, 20 gauge IV catheter in each arm, getting lactate ringers in each, up in each vein because they were so dehydrated and so sick. Learning from that, holy cow. And it's not just, and that's just from a little bit of bad water. Um, I've talked to my grandkids about this kind of stuff, and we've been, we would sit there and talk about, and I'm drinking a bottle of water, and we're talking about water, and because I'm bringing them up in this culture, this lifestyle, and so I'll pick up a piece of dirt, drop the dirt in the water, and I say, "Hey, you want to drink it?" No. Well, it's just a little drop. No. There you go, because that little drop can infect everything, and it's sad. It's just the way it is. That one small piece of whatever can contaminate it. Okay, now your water's contaminated. What you gonna do to filter it? Um, what you gonna do? Sandy has a water filtration system that she has. It's kind of it's like a Berkey. I love Berkey. They don't pay me nothing, but I love Berkey. Huh. Somebody just put their hands on my door in the hotel. I'm turning the lock. Um, anyway, what would you do to filter it out? Some people say cold mountain streams, running water. No, maybe 100 years ago it was, but who's upstream? Is it Bigfoot peeing in the water? That kind of stuff. I don't know about the cold mountain streams. Um, I really don't. Um, I would really look into getting a good filtration system, and I'm not going to talk about uh, particulates or any of the exotic dull stuff uh, like Schlivlich or Jiki or vodka in the water too. Yes, sir. I much prefer the vodka to disinfect. Winston Churchill said he used to pour a shot of scotch in his canteen before drinking water in his service. Yes, and there's, I mean, there is a reason for that because it would kill all the crud in it. Now, ideally, you'd want it, you pour the alcohol in the water and shake it around and let it sit for a while. It'll kill off the malaria, mosquitoes, and all that stuff. That is a reason why so many, colonial Brits liked gin. Um, that was just a big thing, or a tonic, a gin tonic, because it was uh, from the fever tree. I was trying to think what it was. Pete's mom said a third alcohol in the water. She's a peasant from the hills of Slovakia. Slovakia? Okay. Um, but when we're talking about modern problems, ideally, we do need to look at historical models to give us an idea of what's going on, because I love my Sawyer Mini. I love my Sawyer Squeeze. I love the Life Straws. I love the Grails, uh, the Berkey, the Royal Dalton, the one that you can do on a 5-gallon water bucket. I can't remember the name of that one. I mean, there's so many out there, and they range from $10 to the ones I just mentioned, $10 to 300, $400. Um, you have to find out what works best for you, and you really need to know what's going on. One of the things to do, if we're talking about this, we need to identify the threat. What's in your water? Well, you need to have it tested. Have your water tested and just check it. Life straw, yeah, that it's kind of like a blue sippy tube, about 8 or 12 inches long, and you sip through it. It filters some things, and honestly, I cannot remember exactly what it filters. I know it's not my first choice. Um, I don't. They're okay. You can look them up. Bacon. Um, oh, I love the tonic water. I drink it all the time because it has. Oh, we'll get banned for this. Chloroquine in it. Yeah, looks like a Brita on steroids. Yes, sir, it is, and it's okay. Um, I don't know if I love it. Um, Again, the problem is if you have the life straw and you want to drink from it, you put your face over the creek and you draw water up from it that way. Well, that means my face is 10 inches from the water. And I said last night, I've been bitten twice by venomous snakes. I don't want to be bitten anymore. Uh, Quinine. Yeah. Yeah. No. Um, the quinine, oh gosh, you can actually, you can do a little bit of research. When Washington's guys came across the Delaware, they had little pouches with them, and they contained fever tree bark. Fever tree bark is used, you put it in contaminated water, mainly for malaria, but they didn't know that at the time. And you put it in there, and it'll kill over a little bit of time. It will kill whatever's in there. And then you're able to drink it, the water. It tastes bitter from the fever tree bark. I love quinine. I love the taste of it. It's very bitter. I like. That's one reason I don't eat sweets or candy or anything like that. I like very bitter things, and that's pretty good to me. I love uh, the tonic water. I love it. Um, but yeah, it has been one, two, three, 300 years. It has been known to do that and to work very well. Olga's never bitten him, but then her venom has no cure. That's funny. Um, Hodges, great for I didn't know that either. Um, I thought it was like just bananas and potassium from. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, gosh, we hadn't even gotten into the water filtration. This is going to be like a month-long study of filtration from the Egyptians to the Martians. Anyway, we're not going to do all that. But there's a whole lot more to it that's just on the surface. But it's not as involved and as crazy as all the people that scream at you when you ask questions in a chat group. Start collecting water off your rain. Start collecting rainwater off of your roof, and that will go a long way. And the people that always scream about it and complain about it, they'll go away. We would be educated. Sandy says, "Oh, okay." Redneck Prepper is asking in regard to the video. Yeah, no, okay. I'll finish this tomorrow. And everybody's asking about the cops. What happened this morning? Okay, this is weird, and this just kind of happens. Got up at. I'm an hour ahead. I'm in Tennessee, so it's actually 8 o'clock here. And so I got up this morning at 4 o'clock. Got up, did my morning stuff, did the jump rope, did the devotionals, fixed some coffee or went out and got some coffee. And there were like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I do a jump rope. It's cardio. And there were 4, 3 Tahoes and a cruiser, police cruiser out front of the hotel. And I was like, it's interesting. And I talked to the lady because the night manager's always bored. And she said, somebody's going to jail. And I said, oh, okay. And I said, anybody on the first floor? And because I'm on the first floor. She said, no, sir. I said, okay, that's even better. I'm so glad. And we got to talking, and she said somebody had a fit, and they, and law enforcement was called. I said, you called 4 cars? And she said, no, we just called and reported it. And then they all came in. And I was like, holy cow. And so he was on something. He was high. He was with a woman and 2 kids. And they, I don't know if they feared for their life or anything like that. The guy had been upstairs punching holes in the walls. This is a nice hotel. This is a Radisson hotel. I mean, this is a nice hotel. I was staying last month at the place where the hookers walk up and down through the parking lot, and it was safer, I guess. And I said, it took 8 guys. And she said, no, there's actually a couple of more up in the woods just watching. I'm like, holy cow. I said, okay. So it took 12 cops to do this. And she said, I guess it did. The guy was a danger to himself, hadn't paid his bill, threatened the woman and the kids. That's all I know. And then they arrested him after 5 hours of sitting here. It's one reason I didn't go to work today. I ended up working from the computer, But yeah, from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. this time, nobody left this parking lot because you had 4 cop cars blocking you in, and they weren't moving, and because they were looking for somebody. This is a piece of the chicken I grilled. Sorry, guys. Let me tell you, you want to give some chicken some flavor? Fried in bacon grease, man. But and it was really sad because it was just so stupid. And the kick in the butt is, okay, they drove him off at 10 o'clock. 12 o'clock, I'm sitting here writing on the computer, doing reports. I go back out to the office or to the waiting area to get a cup of coffee. They let him out. He was discharged. He reeked of marijuana, I'll say. It was potent, but I don't know. I really don't know. I felt bad for the wife and the kids. Roundabout, I don't know. But that was it. And they arrested him. They let him go. Yeah. And I'm not kidding, from 5 a.m. Tennessee time to 10 a.m. Tennessee time, there were 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 3 Tahoes in the front, and a police cruiser, a Ford Crown Vic, sitting up there. At least 2 guys in each vehicle. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 cops. And I was like, wow, these guys are serious about this stuff. But it was just like, I don't know. Again, I feel bad for the lady and the kids. Of course, here's the thing. They've all been staying here in this hotel for like 2 weeks. So I'm sure she's gotten a hint in those 2 weeks that, honey was crazy. I don't know. I don't know. Don't sleep with dogs. You'll wake up with fleas. That would be my thought. They're sad. I said, what happened to the lady and the kids and the hotel manager? She said, I don't know. I said, okay. Well, I hope they're okay. I don't know. They're not in my hotel. Yes, ma'am. I guess so. So that's it. It was very silly. I wasn't concerned or worried. I mean, I keep my sidearm in here. I've got one in the car also. So I'm probably better armed than law enforcement around here. But it was just sad that the people, and then you think about the kids. And she said there was a brand new big screen TV box up there. And I said, okay. I said, maybe he bought it for him or something like that. And she said, well, he kicked it and busted holes all in it. And I was like, I got nothing to say to that. Got nothing to say to that. And then I talked to the guy out while we were waiting for the cops to move so everybody could leave. I was talking to a guy. He was down here for a wake, a funeral for his friend. And well, no, you don't understand. I have multiples. One is a car gun. One is a carry gun. Every vehicle, well, I really shouldn't say that. In a perfect world, every vehicle that is on Darren Taylor's property has a gun in a certain place, and then would have a larger gun in another certain place. That is not accounting for the ones you carry to get to the vehicle. So I call them car guns. Pew pew, not the gun word. Yeah, it's okay. I'm sure once I said quinine or hydrochloroquine, I'm sure we got banned off this. So there's no monetization for this. Ohio, you have to leave it in a safe in your boot if you can't take it inside. Yes, sir. I think you've told me that before, Doctor. Sergeant Rocco. But I don't know. And it's kind of sad because you follow the thread of the story that they tell you, and it's just a narrative, and you don't know if it's true or not. He went and bought the big screen TV, and of course they're in a hotel. Why would you do that? But whatever. We're not stupid. We just listen to the story as it plays out. And they do this and do this and do this. And so you bought this for them, and I guess maybe you love them because you bought them this thing, and then you bought it for them, and you've been in the hotel for a 10-day period, let's say. And so in that 10-day period where you bought it, you busted it up in front of them. I don't know. It just seems crazy and ludicrous, and it's really sad. I don't know. Shalom, my friend. You gone, buddy? I'm eating a piece of chicken. So I don't know. Maybe tonight wasn't a good night to do the thing. We didn't get very far, but I don't know. If you have a cause or a belief or an ideal or something like that, there's nothing wrong with that, I guess, in an ideal world. But don't be stupid about whatever you think you need to and you do. That would be buy a television for your family and then bust the television in front of them. I don't know. Oh, I did not know that, Rocco. Thank you very much. I don't know, but I just kind of puts me in a little bit of a funk. That might have been why I've been kind of down today, because I've never understood. Sandy is interested in water filtration. That sounds. What kind of water setup do you have already, Sandy? And where do you get your water from? We have 9 people. Water's from the city. Okay, so I guess it's chlorinated, or it has either chlorine in it or chloramine. Okay, but it does come from a city water source. Do you have a water tank or a water tower within eyesight of where you live? Sandy says 2 buckets stacked ceramic filter on the top one. Sandy, that's a dang good way to do it. We have had an outage a few weeks back. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, Rocco. Yes, the city has a tower. Okay. Okay, that's cool. So down at the base of the tower, you'll see a little bitty cement block building with a mesh fence all the way around it with a chain link fence with, 3 or 4 strands of barbed wire across the top of it, and there'll be a little motor out to the side of it, and that's a pumping station, and that's why they pump. That's one of the things that I work on or I inspect for different companies, and that thing periodically they run that usually once a month, and they'll run that thing, and it will uh, pump in a certain amount of chloramine or chlorine, usually in a big old silver tank outside, and that will mix with the water and goes up in the tank, and then it's dispersed, gravity fed to the neighboring houses. But it's pumped and it's infused with chlorine or the chloramine, and then, like I said, it's gravity fed out to all the houses all the way around you. And that's a good way to do it. It really is. It's fairly efficient. Whether you like the chlorine or the chloramine, it's you know you're dealing with it, but you can take the stuff out. Um, a good ceramic filter, a Berkey or a, oh gosh, Con Consuica or something like that. The filtration system is really good, and you can really filter out a lot of the junk. For me, having the grandkids around, it's chlorine, fluoride, lead, and any pesticide runoff, which the Berkey filters that we get accommodate that. They accommodate up into certain types of radioactive stuff, but I'd have to look at it to tell you exactly. I'm reading. Um, the 25-pound plastic cat litter jugs are great for flushing water. Yes, sir. Those are the ones. We have a bunch of them saved up, stacked up for uh, non-potable water. Doc Falcon says filtration places over the hill from his house, maybe a mile away. Yep. Great for storing rice beans. Just fill in the water, let them sit a week, empty, fill again, repeat. Within 3 months, any scenting is gone. Yes, yes, sir. They work really well. I've been hesitant to put any kind of foods, dry goods in mine. I just use them for water. Not saying what you're doing is wrong. I just hadn't done it myself. Sandy says our city water is bad, even has radon in it. Hmm. Radon is naturally occurring radioactive particle, I want to say. Um, have to buy drinking, cooking water. Wintertime, we have snow. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Sandy. I would definitely continue using that ceramic filter, especially with all the stuff that's going on in it. Whatever, and I don't want to know what city you're in because, some people can be weird. Um, whatever city you are in, find out with your city council and find out where they get the water from, whether it comes from like a deep well or whatever river is adjacent to you. I know ours comes from, like I've said before, ours in Centerville, Alabama, it comes from, uh, right now, it's coming from the number 4 deep well that is adjacent to the Cahaba River. And so, take into that, whatever you want. We filter all of our stuff with a really good Berkey. Um, uh, so Sandy, you are doing the good stuff. Don't stop. If you're concerned about the water, don't stop. And I use the filtered water in our ice trays. I don't. I mean it. No, unless I'm boiling the water. If I'm boiling the water, then it's not as bad. But I'm not as worried about a chemical. Sandy may be more concerned about chemical. Uh, you know, particulates in her water, which boiling will not eliminate. Boiling eliminates bacteria to a degree, viruses to a degree. Um, hang on, I'm reading. Okay, yeah. And Sandy says, yes, she's concerned about the chemicals. Yeah, you need to keep doing the good things with that filtration system. And we could talk about doing a charcoal, sand, gravel, grass water filter that you read about, and they want you to buy the book for and do all that. That's not going to filter out chemicals, really. I mean, depending on if we're talking about like petroleum distillates, that's pretty good. Those are pretty stout. And if we're not, I mean, we could be talking about like Roundup or Grazon, those kind of pesticides. Uh, Hang on, let's see. Boil and collect the steam. That's a great way to do it, Redneck Prepper. It's a fantastic way to do it. That is distillation. And it consumes a lot of energy. I'm sure there's sexier ways to say that. You got to heat that water to make the steam for it to condense and for it to run down the sides into a tray, which it's fantastic. Or you could do it solar, but it only works when it's hot outside or when it's, when the temperature is right. But I mean, Mike Oliver says, yes, check the website for the water provider. They should have a consumer confidence report. Absolutely. Yeah. That is what I have sent to me. Yes. And then I would be very, I would really look at what they're saying, what they're telling you. Mike Oliver, yes, that is indeed correct. Because that's how I know where the water in our area comes from. Boil and collect. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm catching up with that. But yeah, water distillation is fantastic. It is an intense amount of energy to generate, unless you're doing like a passive solar on a nice warm day, and then don't get thirsty. But it works. I mean, it really does work. But yeah, it will. I'm thinking back on all the stuff I've read before, as it evaporates and condenses on the top and goes down. Yeah, as long as everything's clean, it should be pretty good. And if you guys know any more about it, please comment. I am not the guru on this. Oba drinks fizzy water. Good. Russian. Scary Ukraine. LOL. Hmm. Okay, you're talking about a water cooler. Is that right? Or an electric water cooler that does hot and cold water? I mean, that's an alternative. Culligan, they make them. The Hooch looked at them the other day. I'm going to say they're like 180 or 200 bucks because she was talking about wanting to get one. And I said, babe, we have, we got a Berkey and we got an extra box of filters downstairs. And she said, I just wanted to get that. And she said, it's this much. I said, okay. And I said, well, what about, what about extra water? And she said, they make a rack for it. That's $40. And you can put 15 gallons of water. I said, how much is the water? And we did the numbers on it. I said, from now on, if you want something that's related to prepping, sell me on the prep first. I said, I don't care about the water cooler itself, but I can keep extra 20 gallons, which in and of itself isn't that much because it takes 20 gallons is on an old toilet 7 flushes maybe of water. If you were crazy enough to use really good water to do that. I mean, you could use creek water to flush a toilet or something like that. But just saying, this is how I think about this stuff. Sandy says yes, the Walmart has 5-gallon jugs. Yep. I have a hard time carrying the jugs now and don't have to buy it for these filters. Absolutely. Great Value has hot cold for $97. Other decent for less than $150. Culligan does have a service in some areas. They will come out and they will deliver and put that big old 5-gallon jug in the hole for you for a certain amount of money. We did it one time when I was uppity years ago when I was married to somebody else. And it was expensive then. I'm going to say it was $30 a month 20 years ago for them to come out and do that. Yeah, that's about right. 30 or 40 bucks. So it just depends on what your concern is. But, and again, gosh, we're at an hour and a quarter now. New York City has that service. Mandelsham's was a big one in our neighborhood. Okay. If you don't know what you're filtering against, if you're just like, oh my God, I want my mountain or my water as pure as a mountain stream, please remove all the dinosaur pee out of it. Holy cow. I'm thinking like, and you can do it, and it's expensive. A reverse osmosis system, maybe with like, a light system just to remove any kind of impurities to kill anything that grows. Holy cow. I mean, you can do it. Absolutely. And it will be like, super duper. Have a great evening, Sandy. I'll try to come up with something a little bit better. I understand you have a specific problem. I'll try to work up something on that. Because this live stream kind of went in different places. Thank you, Sandy, though. You have a good evening. It sounds like she's on the right track, though, with a Berkey-ish, whether it is a Berkey or a rural Dalton, or you made it yourself, as long as you've got good washers with a good ceramic filtration system. Mine has a ceramic filtration system and then a carbon filter incorporated that the two of them screw together. They're about 2 feet long, something like that. I don't know. I set up a rainwater harvesting system, can store 1,000 gallons used to water the garden, and animals can filter for drinking. Absolutely, man. That's a good way to do it. And that is basic, and you can't beat it. You've got the water coming off the roof, and everybody's going to say, oh my God, is it a metal roof, or is it we had this conversation yesterday. Is it a metal roof, or is it an asphalt shingle roof? You're getting petroleum distillate poisoning. I'm like, come on, guys. It takes you 3 days to die of water, without water. It'd take you 20 years probably to die from that. Pick what you want to die from. And then you can also remove that. It's not like you're just going outside and drinking out of the gutter, rain gutter, that is. But a lot of people just kind of natter on with this stuff. If you have a water filtration system coming that culminates from rain off of your roof, that's a fantastic way to do it. I know we're talking about contamination and bird poop and all that stuff. But that is a dang good way to do it. And if you're doing that, you're 80% ahead of most everybody else. Because if you got the water to filter, you can filter it. I've got a few 100 gallons, and then I've got a swimming pool and a creek, but rainwater runoff in deep South Alabama, where it rains once a week, usually, pretty good thing. It's pretty reliable. And if you build up some sort of cistern or collection or an old above ground swimming pool and just cap it off with a tarp, that's pretty good stuff too. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I didn't mean to keep you guys this long. I apologize. Mike said, yeah, that's really good. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out. Thank you. And you guys take care of your people. Think about this water situation. We'll get back on it. We may have to break this thing down into small bites. Graf Petoskey. Yes. All right, guys, you take it easy. Be safe. See you.